Hey, I'm ElusiveKev, Mr. Cole. Welcome back to TTR Man Ride on the Edge. Has for some reason it skipped the Tranquil Raceway, so we're at the Antrim speed track for 5 laps around this 12-kilometre circuit, a TT style event on board a Honda against 4 fellow super sport bikes. We've got a couple of Yamahas and a Kawasaki as well. Let's go. So we are revving up at the start. You get underway with a bit of a wheelie on board a Honda super sport bike. Not many opponents. So if we were finishing the top 5, that would be very good. As in this, I've got a good gap behind to all of them as well in this TT style event. At least we're riding around this circuit for once, all by ourselves. We go through the right hander. But we do have that sun kind of in our eye line, as you can see with the glare. So that would be a bit annoying over this 5-lap event. But it'd be nice to ride around this circuit for once. Without any distractions. And let's see how fast we can go on board a super sport bike. And I think last time out we went through here on the super bike, didn't we? Get down to 5th with that right hander. It's a different right hander I was thinking, was it? No, it was that right hander. It looks slightly different. As you build the speed up to 170 miles per hour for braking, it's the right hander down to 4th. And nicely through that apex, through the left. Got some bumps here, gotta be careful of. And hard on the power. We're actually kind of like that section because there's a trees acting as like a canopy to blanket that sun away. Take the right hander in 3rd gear. Got hot air balloons in the sky, got quite a few of them. What's all the hot air balloons? As we approach the middle part of this lap, that hairpin which divides this lap in 2. And I do really like this Antrim speed track. There you go through this ever decreasing left hander. There we go. Now into the hairpin. Very tricky braking. Very bumpy corner as well. Getting it down to 1st. To get on the power. So he took that nicely. To go through the left hander. But this track's pretty nice. Let's go to lift through there. Almost forgot about that. And the super sport bike, you can be more flat out in a couple of quads in the super bike, obviously. Especially this left hander, you can see barely lifting. There's still some moments I've got to remember after the lift. And down to 2nd for the right. That was nicely done. Carrying good speed into the corner. Maybe a bit slow at the apex, but if you mess that up on the inside, well, on the outside there's some trees that will deal with you. So don't be messing up that corner at all, so it's better to be a bit cautious. As you may have noticed on quite a lot of these circuits. Much better to be cautious. As you get into the final couple of corners. It's going to be around 3:30, is it, that time? It's not too bad on our first lap. Of course, we're hoping to get around 5 seconds faster on subsequent laps, because of course we start from a standstill on this opening lap. On this 2nd lap, aim for around 3:25. It's got the lift and start finish straight for that bump as you get a bit airborne. But yeah, I really do like this track, being very high speed. Couple of corners to slow you down, especially in the 2nd after that. But this 1st after that, being stuck in 6th gear. These high speed sweepers. Just a couple of braking points. It is marvellous. An extremely high speed. You're looking at almost 200 miles per hour on a super bike. And the super sport bike, around 170. Get it down to 5th for the right hander. Maybe I don't need to down the brakes, just get it down to 5th, the engine braking. You know, there's not a lot of it going down just the gear. go into the right. And then down to 4th. Can that speed through the corner. And then through the left. Just checking up slightly for those bumps. They managed to get through there nicely. Now breaking a straight line for the right hander down to 3rd. So easy to get into that corner a bit early. And then go through the plants, which you don't want to be doing. There's a bit of a bump there. But nothing on a super sport bike, especially compared to the super bike. So this might be the last year we do some super sport stuff, apart from, of course, the TT. I'll be doing all these other events. I was thinking ahead to next year already. Now we're going to shape the calendar as we've been trying to do everything. But of course that leads to quite a long layers. All we keep. Just clip them all on the outside, just let them once, you know, get their sponsorship money. But yeah, definitely cut down on the super sport events and just cut down on events in general. And just focus on, of course, the main event being the TT in Isle of Man. And I think we've done enough to establish the difference between the super sport and super bike. You know how you can definitely see that for the last few events. You can see it around this track as well. Just go back to the super bike and then see how much more speed we can into a couple of corners, how much more lifting you had to do, and be very cautious at times. So yeah, maybe just head for the high prestige events from now on, which we can see on the calendar. Unfortunately, you can't see when selecting, which is a bit annoying. You can't see there's like a 5-star rating alongside events. And this Antrim TT Speed Festival is 3 stars, very prestigious, so we might just aim for those events, do 1 per month instead of doing 3 or 4. As we go on to the 3rd lap, what are we aiming for? That was around 3:28, I would say. That's roughly 5 seconds faster than our opening lap. Not as fast as we want to be. We're aiming around 3:25. But we'll take that. Just be consistent, as in it's like there's riders behind it just falling way back. Which is of course the aim in the 2-star event. We don't want to be seeing them at all and be fighting anyone on the laps. Let's go through the right hand. I forget that right hand is a bit more open than the previous one. You need to really let off the throttle on the previous one. That one you can be much more wide open. So we go dab the brakes down to 5th for the right. You can probably take that in sixth actually just with a dab the brakes, but then you won't get good acceleration out the corner. To go into the right, down to 4th. Being very cautious on this 3rd out as we approach the halfway mark of this opening event. I believe we've got 2 more after this. So it's going to be a long episode. There'll probably a few outtakes at the end, no doubt about that. Never going to disappoint on that aspect with all the outtakes, even though in recent episodes it's been going much smoother when we've had shorter circuits such as that Milford Street circuit around the docks. And you've had the Herefordshire circuit as well, West Sussex too, so quite a few new circuits we're exploring. Being shorter as well leads to less mistakes, as there's less to remember. So go towards the hairpin, get down to 1st gear. No, so a point about this gameplay as well, we've had the update which the PS4 and PC had for the Xbox, so this is the first video post-patch. And the rear hasn't really caused any issues, so maybe they actually did fix that issue. The rear just acting by itself, not being a part of the bike. We understand that's an issue in real life, of course, being over the bumps. Your end's going to be kicking out all over the place, but it really did not feel like part of the bike at times. At the moment, it's not too bad. Bike's much more stable, feels a bit easier to ride. Even though we're not exactly pushing 100% in this event, as we're just by ourselves, but maybe riding against someone, we'll see. Let's go through the left, scraping the wall on the inside, keep the pavement on the outside. As we get it down to 5th. And then see that's added another scrape to the windscreen. God, it's getting dirty already. We're just 3 laps in onto the 4th lap. So on the final lap, we probably won't see anything. As we would have gone 60 kilometres then. Almost as long as the mountain course. As we do go on to the penultimate lap of this event, and that was disappointing that time, from what I can tell. It's over 3:30, I think. So I want to be a couple of seconds faster than that lap. As he started out aggressively enough though, for those first sweepers. Now into the right, big lift, and get on the power. Can make some good moves in that corner as well, as you've seen in the past. You can virtually take that corner flat out on the Super Sport, but I don't know why I'm lifting. Maybe it's because of the Super Bike last time. So of that sensibility, seeing that corner. So we've got no braking, getting it down to 5th. That seems to work. Let's go through the left-hander and into the right. Down to 4th gear. This time we put some hot sauce going into that corner, getting a bit more speed. Seems to have worked well. And lift over the bumps up to 6th. Now they had our heavy braking. The right-hander was a bit bumpy at first, but then braking's not too bad after that. Going to brake on a couple of bumps, which can unsettle the bike, so make sure you're not braking too heavily. I'm probably just braking too early though, to be fair. You build the speed up towards 180. You go through the left hand and now you've got to lift. So you go through that kink in the middle. The left hander. And they'll brake into the hairpin down to 1st. A good carry on the speed through the corner. So yeah, good vibes with the pack so far. Love to see what else he actually fixed. I've already forgotten, unfortunately. But yeah, bike handling seems to be much better. And this is just on the Super Sport bike. The big test will be the Super Bike, of course. Go for the left and right. And it's just awkward bumps everywhere around this course. You had a bump in the middle of that apex through that slow right-hander. And that's the trickiest thing about this course, being very high speed as well. You just hit that bump at the wrong angle, you're in a world of pain. And it is very easy to do that, so almost losing the rear. Get the feeling pre-patch, we'd have lost the rear then. This bike starts to rotate. As we go into the penultimate corner. Do that in 2nd gear. We've just been easing into that corner, not really being aggressive with it. Maybe we do that on the final lap. As you go through the final kink, onto the start-finish straight, and onto the final lap of this event. That's a much better lap time, it looks like. More like a 3:28. As you lift majorly over that bump on the start-finish straight. And look how dirty that windscreen, look at all that muck. Almost forgot to lift over those bumps. That would have been a disaster, especially on the final lap. Gone this far, and then mess it up. Just like when he done the full lap on the mountain course, it'd be messing up in the final couple of sections. It's going to be similar time-wise, isn't it? Or just slightly shorter. As we did 21 minutes, wasn't it, on the Super Sport bike? It's going to be completed in around 17. As well, definitely don't need to brake in that corner. I don't know why I'd have the brakes on this occasion. But at least we're surviving, that's the main thing. To get down to 4th. Oh, the rear almost upset itself. Had to pick the bike up there. At least I could understand that there. There's a tipping point there and I could adjust there. Which again is another slight improvement from pre-patch. Go for the right-hander. Still got those hot air balloons in the sky. That is going to annoy me. So saying that, I think Co-Master did on F1 2013, just having lots of hot air balloons in the sky for like Jerez or Estoril, like the classic circuits. I have no idea why developers just like putting loads of hot air balloons in the sky. Maybe they're references in development and just keep them in. I have no idea. You've got to break around that kiloton sign. For the hairpin. Braked a bit earlier this occasion. At least we're not hitting the walls or the barriers either side. As we really cannot see through the windscreen. First time regretting using this view. You go back in third person maybe. Especially like on the second lap in the Other Man races. These events which will happen. Might have to change view from lap to lap. So you get down to second, being very cautious into that right-hander. And now we're in the final section of this event. I do not see anyone behind or in front, anyone near us. As you go for the right, in through the left, there's a bump there that almost unsettled us there. Through the right-hander. I made it through. And now into the penultimate corner, down to second. You can really cut that corner if you're brave enough. Maybe take it in third. The aggressive line over that dirt and mud on the inside. Let's go for the final corner. We've completed his first event. On the 12km circuit, and where have we finished? As the crowd are ecstatic. Look at that down below. That's what we'll find out. It looks like we're going to finish on the podium at least. But we're going to win it by over a minute. As we did a 3:24.7 was our fastest. That bloody hell. Last time I had a good visit to some of the shorter circuits.